Namaskar. I am Padma Raghavan, Artistic Director, Silamba Mylapur, an institution for Bharatanatyam excellence. I am extremely happy to meet you in the episode 2 of Kavithva. In the last episode, I spoke to you about giving you insights on some rarely explored compositions that lend themselves very beautifully for dance productions. In that order, I had started off with Vedanta Deshigar Hamsa Sandesham. Now in this episode, let me continue with what Hamsa Sandesham is all about. Now this Hamsa Sandesham is in Sanskrit language and it consists of 110 verses. What is the greatness of Hamsa Sandesham? First of all, this is a composition by Vedanta Deshigar, who is a staunch devotee of Vishnu, and he himself is known as the Ganta Avataram. Secondly, this Nayaka is the God incarnation Rama. He is the Nayaka who wishes to send message to the divine Sita. And who is the messenger? Yes, you have guessed. It is the Hamsa. Again, the divine bird got its divinity because of it being the Vahana of this great creator, Brahma. So, this composition has gone one notch higher and its divinity personified. Also, Vedanta Deshigar, through this composition, pays his obeisance, salutations to the 5 Archamurtis, Rama, Tiruvengadamudayar, Tiruvarangam, Lord. Then we have the Tirumal God, and we have through this journey of Hamsa, Vedanta Deshigar pays his obeisance and salutations. He uses this composition for that purpose. Having said that, let me come to the time period when this Hamsa Sandesham is set in Ramayana. Now, when I say the time period of the play, here is Rama and Lakshmana in the abode of Sugriva in the forest, and they are very upset that Sita has been abducted. They have come to know that Sita has been abducted, and Anjaneya has gone to Lanka to locate Sita, to find Sita. He finds Sita, he comes back to Sugriva and says that he has found Sita, contain Sita. He has found Sita. Now, further, Rama decides to take the Vanarasena headed by Sugriva to Lanka, wage a war against Ravana and bring back Sita. Now, Rama, who belongs to this great Surya Vamsham, who is the God incarnation, Vishnu has never separated himself from Mahalakshmi. But in this avataram, Rama has to be away from Sita, and he is so upset. And he has taken this human avatar. He respects this human avatar a lot. He says, Manayan Manushatvam. He respects the human race and what the human beings represent. So, what happens is, having heard that Sita is located and having decided that they are going to leave the next morning, now Rama feels the distance that separates him from Sita. And he is so upset, all the memories of Sita comes back to him, and he says, how am I going to spend this night which is going to be so long for me? Isn't Sita so far away from me? And what happens is, in the next verse, Rama feels very upset and very desolate. He walks along the forest path, alone, dejected, very depressed, his mind full of Sita. He is thinking only of Sita. And Antaratma is full of Sita, is what this verse is telling about. And he walks along this forest path, along the banks of the lake that is filled with lotus. Lotus filled lake, Rama walks along, and as he keeps walking with his mind completely thinking about Sita, suddenly he spots this Raka Chandra Diti Sahacharam Rajahamsam Tadarsha. So what happens is, suddenly as he is walking, Rama spots this beautiful Hamsa, Raja Hamsa, that is so pure white as the full moon. He spots, he looks at it, yes, he looks at it, but is his mind going to that Hamsa? No. What happens is that his mind tries to compare this beautiful Hamsa to Sita. Now, I also said that this whole composition lends itself beautifully for the painters. Now, imagine this scenery. Here is this greenery, the forest full of trees, and in this path, on one side, you have this lotus-filled lake, and Rama is walking along desolate, and he spots this Hamsa. Isn't this a very picturesque scene that can be painted so beautifully? Now what happens is, how does Rama compare this Hamsa with Sita? So Rama, as soon as he sees this Hamsa, is reminded of the gentle Anna Nadai, the gentle walk of Sita as equivalent to the Hamsa. Tasmin Sita Gatim Anugate Dattu Kulanga Murthe. So what happens is, the beautiful walk of the Hamsa reminds him of the gentle walk of Sita. The cooing of the Hamsa, the sound that comes off Hamsa, reminds him of the tinkling sound of the anklets that Sita is wearing. And the whole form of Hamsa reminds him of this beautiful sari that Sita has worn, that has full drawings of Hamsa. And this is how he compares Hamsa with Sita. And he is so much in love, but so much experiencing the pangs of separation. So sad. He is feeling so upset. And at this point of time, for us dancers, who enters? You're right, Manmata. Isn't Manmata the person who brings out these emotions in Rama? And Rama says, "Oh Manmata, you are so cruel. You are using this time to evoke such emotions in me. I am, after all, a human being. And naturally, I am affected by your arrows." So he says, Shanke Tivram Bhavati Samaye Shasanam Meenaketu. This is what the words say about Manmata doing his job perfectly. Now imagine this scenery for dance. Here is Rama, very sad. He spots Hamsa there, the pure white Hamsa. And he is so upset. But he is reminded of Sita. So in the scene you have Rama, you have Sita, you have the Hamsa, and also the arrow shot by Manmata. Isn't this a perfect scenery for our dance production? So what happens is, unable to escape the pangs of separation, Rama suddenly feels, hey, I can send this Hamsa as a messenger that can carry all my mental agony and my mental condition to Sita. I can use Hamsa as the messenger to convey my thoughts, my love, my anguish to Sita. So what happens is, he starts worshipping this Hamsa. This Hamsam, that is a great bird, is worshipped by Rama. He respects, he pays his respect to this Hamsa. In what all way? And of course, he wants to cajole, he wants to convince this Hamsa that Hamsam is the perfect choice to be a messenger to Sita. So, what are the ways in which Hamsam is supposed to what are the ways in which Rama tries to cajole Hamsa? So, first thing, he does puja to Hamsam with the lotus. With the lotus, he does puja, and he pays more attention and respect to Hamsa rather than Anjaneya or Hanuman. And he comes literally to the level of begging, beseeching the Hamsa. What Vedanta Deshikar is saying is, there's nothing wrong, because a person who is absolutely desperate wants to send this message and somehow through anybody. It can be the trees, it can be the wind, it can be the waves, it can be the flowers, it can be the clouds. Anybody can carry the message, and here Rama selects Hamsa. And what he says is, you are the Vahanam of the great Brahma who resides in the lotus, the stalk that comes out of the navel of Sriman Narayana. Oh, he is such a great Brahma. Okay, and that Brahma's Vahanam you are. So aren't you a great bird? But here, you know what I want to tell you is, over here I want to tell you that Vedanta Deshikar, in the course of his composition, has referred to so many such stories, and these stories themselves on its own right can become a production. Going along, I shall just highlight these stories also. The other thing that Rama talks about the greatness of this Hamsa is that Hamsa, you can swim in the water, you can walk in the land, you can fly in the sky. You are such a great bird. And with the blessings of Saraswati, you have got this beautiful whiteness of the full moon, and that is the blessing of the great Saraswati. And among we ordinary human beings, you are the superior bird. You are the leader of all the birds who are the Vahanams of all the Devas. So you are the Raja Hamsa. And here he says, see, don't think that I am an ordinary human being and you have to come down to that level where you have to carry my messages to Sita. Please don't think like that, because didn't Brahma once upon a time become the charioteer for Shiva? When Shiva wanted to fight the Tripurasuran, he wanted somebody who could be a charioteer who was of that level and that caliber. And he thought nobody else can take the role but for Brahma. So he asks Brahma to be the charioteer, and Brahma becomes the charioteer for Shiva. Now, when Brahma can become the charioteer for Shiva, who is the creator, Hamsa, oh Raja Hamsa, can't you be my messenger? You are the perfect choice to be my messenger. He says, Lanka gantum tavasam uchitam rakshasim rajadhani. Lankam gantum tavasam uchitam rakshasim rajadhani. O Raja Hamsa, you are this rational bird that can separate milk from water. You are the perfect choice for me to send you as a messenger to my Sita. You are the perfect person to go to Sri Lanka as a messenger. Lanka gantum tava samuchitam. You are the perfect, the apt choice to go to the capital city of the Rakshasas residing in that city. Rakshasi Rajadhani. And then he goes on to describe this beautiful sight of Sri Lanka. He says, this mountain, the Trikuta mountain, the mountain with 3 peaks, on top of that mountain is this city. And oh Hamsa, when you see this from this side of the ocean, you can see that the waves of the ocean going up and down, and when the waves of the ocean go up, they hide this mountain and the city, but when the waves recede, you can see this beautiful Sri Lanka, the Lanka city. And he also says that this is such a beautiful city. The sight is going to be so beautiful for you to watch. Now imagine this situation to be danced also. Here you have this Hamsa, and there you have these girls representing the waves. And then behind the girls you can have another group of dancers who represent the mountains and the city. And here the girls form the waves. They go up, they hide the girls at the back, the mountain and the city, and the waves recede. And here you get this gorgeous vision of the Lanka city. So, Rama, okay, here what I want to tell you is that this Hamsa Sandesham is divided into 2 parts, I told you. But for our dance purpose, we can divide this whole composition into 3 parts. The first part being Rama and the Hamsa. The in between, the middle part being the journey of Hamsa as directed by Rama. And then the third part would be Hamsa meeting Sita. So we can have this beautiful 3 parts of this Hamsa Sandesham. So actually Rama guides Hamsa throughout. He says that you have to go like this, you have to use this path, you have to select this path, you have to be careful when you're going by forest, there may be thieves who are trying to catch you, and when you go across the Cholanadu and Pandyanadu, you will be seeing these women, these beautiful ladies who will come and appreciate you. And this scenery is beautifully described by Vedanta Deshikar in the journey of Hamsa. So here Rama has cajoled and made the Hamsa accept to go as a messenger. So viewers, the journey begins. Namaskar.